your crown, very proud, singing strong, singing loud. Yeah, black girl, oh, you are, yeah, black girl magic. You got a whole lot of magic deep inside your heart. You got a whole lot of magic deep inside your soul.
Hey friends, happy Sunday and welcome to another episode of Inhale, Exhale. It is your health homegirls, Dr. Audrey Tanksley and Danny time. Danny, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello, everyone.
Hey, you're looking beautiful in your red. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. I was trying to be festive.
I was a little
You look
festive, but you
amazing
know,
as well.
I don't own too much red, so I got to do like whatever I had, which was this.
No, you look
half
good.
of it.
I like the combination.
Thank you. It's inhaling love and exhaling love. I hope y'all got to see my post today.
Which one?
The one about inhaling and exhaling love.
Oh yes. No, you have a good way of keeping the people engaged. So you post a lot of great things. So I was just trying to see which one you were talking about.
Well,
Yes.
thank you. Well, friends, happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys as well. As we just said, these are your health home girls, Dr. Audrey Tanksley and Danny Time. And we are here today on Valentine's Day to talk to you guys about something really exciting. We are talking about healthy sexuality. But before I do that, housekeeping, as always. Right, Danny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I got a little delay. I can't see you that well.
You can't see me?
There you go. Okay. I see you now. So this is the housekeeping, guys. As you know, I am a board certified internal medicine physician, and any health information that you receive is absolutely factual. However, I am not your physician, and so please check in with a physician before you go and start taking any of these things and applying them to your own life. Right, Danny? Same thing with any of the therapy tips that you receive. We always want to make sure that you're talking and engaging with a provider. That's one of the reasons we're here, so that you know what questions to ask them when you go and see them. Or if you're coming to see us, right? So then you could talk to us about those things. Also, we want to make sure that you guys like and share this broadcast. Make sure that you help us grow our audience and make sure that we get some more deep breathers in here so that they can learn more about inhaling and exhaling and all of this good edutainment that we give y'all every week. And then finally, we want you guys to all go to the What's in It for the Black People Media, because as you know, we are a part of the What's in It for the Black People Media family, and we are excited to always bring you this great programming as well as the other great programming that we have on this network. So we want to make sure that you go and like that page, join the Inhale Exhale group so that you can see my posts, because like Danny said, I put some real good stuff out there, and today I put a nice guided imagery for everyone so that they can inhale love and exhale love and just, have a nice moment of peace.
Yes.
Yes. Good. So today, folks, Danny, let me back up. You guys, last week, Danny was not with us because Danny has a new prince who she brought into the world.
That's my love child.
He is so precious. And so I just wanted to just say congratulations to you and your whole family. And I didn't know if you wanted to say something to our Inhale, Exhale family.
I'm just happy to be back with you guys. You had a great show last week. I was able to tune in and review, so that was a very great show. I missed you. It's a blessing to still be able to join you from home, so I can do my mommy thing and still engage with my people. So I was happy to be here on such a fun topic.
I know you such a gangster. You was like, I'm coming back next week. I'm like, dang, okay. So we missed you too, Danny. And hey to everybody out there. I see Tiger Lily. I see I see my beautiful friend Kari Perez. Hey, love. And I see everyone else that's out there. Hey, Tennille, thanks for joining. And anybody else names I see up here, you guys, I'm gonna say hey, Renita. Everybody's wishing you a congratulations, Danny. So thank you.
I'm trying to see the comments, but thank you guys.
Yes. And so because we always run out of time, I'm going to jump into it.
Let's
We
get
got a
into
good
it.
discussion today, guys.
Yeah.
Really good discussion. And so I want to make sure that we have time so we can hit as many questions as we can and really have fun with this. Because today, you guys, it's Valentine's Day. We didn't want to hit y'all with no heavy, hard topics. We said this week we are going to be, we're going to keep it edutainment, right? We're going to keep it educational and keep it entertainment and keep it fun. And I am excited to bring on one of my favorite guests. Okay, and I'm gonna get her back on because right now she dropped off. So I'm gonna bring her on in a second. See, I was talking too long, Danny. That's what it is. But that's okay because we could go ahead and get started. Did she pop back in? She's about to pop back in. So I'm going to set the stage for her because, you guys, I have known this next guest, Miss Mila White Jeffries, for at least about 5 or 6 years now. And we met, she actually is in healthcare and has been in healthcare for a long period of time. But on the side, she's a bedroom candy consultant. And when I found that out, I was just like, oh, girlfriend, we got to talk because you guys know that one of the main things I talk about is the hierarchy of needs, right? And in that hierarchy, we just like we need food and we need shelter and we need clothing, we also need to have relationships and to have sex. That is such an important part of being human.
Sex is good. It's important.
Sex creates princes like the little one you just had. Right? It created all of us. Sex is so important, and I think whether you've been married for 20 some years like myself, or you're kind of exploring what that looks like. I have no judgment. I just want to make sure that you have education and that you are doing it in a way that is safe and fun and meaningful. I think, right? Because I'm always talking about meaningful. I think meaningful is everything in life. So it looks like we may have gotten Mila on board. Hey, love.
Yes, she's here. Hi,
Okay, Mila, can you hear us?
hey.
Uh-oh, I can't hear her. Can you guys hear her?
I can hear her. There's like some type of I don't know if you guys can hear it, like a fuzzy noise. I don't know if the audience can hear it.
Is it a buzzing noise? I can hear you all clearly.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Hey, lady.
Hey, how you all
Okay.
doing? Happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
And happy Valentine's Day
Valentine's
to
Day
you,
to you.
beautiful. All
I
right.
am so honored, lovely ladies, to be on here today talking about sex, baby.
Yes, let's talk about sex, baby. Look, let's
Yes, yes.
I
Let's
think it's a
talk
great
about
topic.
it.
I do. Let's
Yes.
talk about it. So I'm glad you joined in, and since we had a little bit of a delay, I'm gonna just jump right in, right?
Please
Because
do.
I think we should.
Please do.
So I know you guys, I'm glad Danny's back because y'all know that Danny has really good questions. So before she gets into all her real good questions, Mila, I want to do a little bit of edutainment, right? So education wise, I wanted you, because I know we've talked before and you've mentioned to me, first of all, let me back up. Introduce yourself. If you
So
can,
my
love,
name
can
is
you
Mila
turn your phone
Jeffries White.
sideways? Are you able to do that?
Let me see.
If that's a negative, it's a negative. No worries.
It's probably a negative. I do
Okay.
apologize.
Don't worry
It's
about it.
Valentine's Day, and I, I'm not in my normal computer, but I'm here.
Hey, you made it, so that's
I
okay.
made it, so
That's
I do
right.
apologize.
No,
for
don't
not
worry
being
about
able
it.
to.
That's okay. We're gonna make it work. So what I want you to do before we go ahead and do that is I want you to just introduce yourself. I gave a little brief background, but you're much better at telling the folks who you are. So I want you to go ahead and do that before we hop into this topic.
Okay, good enough. So happy Valentine's Day again, everyone. My name is Mila Jeffrey White, and like Dr. Audrey said, I've known her for a little over 5 or 6 years. She is also my doctor, so that's very interesting. We kind of clicked in more ways than one. I have been in healthcare over 30 years, and of course, sex and health education kind of go hand in hand. and have always gone hand in hand. My background is in community health, health education. I studied gerontology and also have a master's in health administration as well, and have done a lot with sexual health education, working with Bedroom Candy. And so we're here today to talk about sex and education and fun things and just a lot of things
And
that we
I'm
can
glad you
do.
got that little gerontology background, because one of the
Yes,
myths I always hear is that you know, you lose it if you get as you get older, and I'm just praying that's a myth. So
it is a myth. So
okay,
let's
I was
let's
just
good.
gonna
let's get
say,
into it.
I was just gonna say, talk your stuff, Mila. You got all the backgrounds needed for us to explore all the questions I have.
Excellent.
Danny, you it seems like you got all the answers.
For the people.
Congratulations.
I'm
You
doing
got
this
all
for
the
the
answers.
people, okay?
Okay.
So,
Well,
Mila, one of the things I wanted to ask you before we get into talking about how we can use play and how we can use all these other things in having healthy relationships and healthy sex lives, I wanted to ask you. One of the things we talk about sometimes is how, you know, sex and intimacy, and how before you even get into those things, there has to be some level of love for yourself. And I know you've talked to me at times about not even where you have used this for women who just need better body image, or going through things like cancer treatments or things like that, and just helping boost things like self-esteem. So before we even get into how you know, if I was in the bedroom, I want you to just speak a little bit to how you use this to help women and men as well, with maybe their medical conditions, or with you know, with sexuality, if that makes sense.
so
Does that question make
so
sense?
yeah, so
Okay.
with this platform, a lot of times people think that, bedroom candy is just about toys and, just about sex as a whole. It does start with yourself first. And it starts also with looking at yourself, loving yourself, and looking at some of the things that you like and dislike, and even maybe some of the things you might miss sexually. And it's a lot about taking time with yourself, not just with your partner, even if you have a partner, to take time with yourself to understand your own body. Everybody's makeup is different. Everybody's love language, like language, and what they feel is different. And so we need to look at who we are. And if you from time to time, people go through challenges, whether they're mental health challenges or physical health challenges. Those sometimes can become barriers when it comes to sexual health and foreplay and intimacy and feeling comfortable about different positions and pleasing a partner. A lot of times we have to look at what pleases ourselves first, and we don't always look at that. And we look at always sometimes pleasing the other person. And once you get into loving yourself and knowing what you want and what you like, then it becomes easier to understand your partner and the other person. And there are times where, for example, I have talked with women who have undergone breast cancer and have had to have surgeries, or were unable to have the surgery due to their own personal medical condition. And it's like, I still want to feel sexy from my partner. I still want to engage. I still want to have the same love language and intimacy. And so we have to start mentally, because we all know sex is mental. We had to mentally start with, okay, this is where we are. And we had to unpack everything. Okay, we don't have the breasts, or we only have one breast. Let's get creative. Let's wear a lingerie outfit that accentuates what we already have. Let's put something on with flowers or roses and make it big and give that effect. Let's, wrap ourselves with chiffon. Let's decorate our bodies. Let's do different
Let's
things.
take
So,
those little
it's,
pasties and those little
yes, those
diamonds and put
pasties.
them on there. Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. And even with men, sometimes men go through different challenges. Sometimes with men, they have to take a minute. It's not always a rush situation. And sometimes the partners have to take their time with men because men have a buildup and a workup just like women do. And so that's why foreplay is so important. A lot of times it's been known for a fact that at least give yourself 10 minutes to warm up before you even get into sexual play. You want to give your body a chance to build up all of the endorphins and the oxytocin and the vasopressin, which are the really good vibes that give you the energy and make you feel good. You know, it's not always, okay, the same thing that you do sexually all the time either. Sometimes you have to try different things. And
Yes.
that's where a lot of the toys and other things come in that we'll talk about.
So before we go into that, yeah, I was Danny, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say before we, it's so funny how we always say the same thing. But I was gonna say before we get into the toys, I just wanted to kind of rewind a little bit and ask about showing up as yourself or showing up comfortably. How would you advise ladies to show up or just showing up period if you don't know what you feel comfortable with? Like how do you sexually explore to figure out what you like? A lot of times some people are not aware of what that is that pleases them, but the other partner might want them to do certain things or show up a certain way, but the confidence isn't there because they're not always sure of what they want for themselves. How would you explore that to even be able to show up in the bedroom?
So a lot of times when we don't know what we like or what we want and how to show up, we have to take time and actually educate ourselves. Sometimes, and even, Google, and of course, we do have a lot of different books and things as well. Start looking up some of the things that you would like, and get educated first. So if there's a certain position that you like, read up on it. If it's a certain thing that you like within your own personal body on the clitoris, then I would advise having some different toys to test that out. You don't know what you like until you try it. So it's
Yeah.
almost like having your own session with yourself, and everybody's personal session, Danny, is going to be different. Some
Yeah.
people might be into the sense of touch, whereas they may have certain areas of the body that are more sensitive than others. Well, you don't know unless you have that done.
Right.
Unless you do it, within yourself. I always recommend starting with yourself to do those different things just to see what type of sensation. Also, in regards to showing up, sometimes you can also play a game with your partner in
Okay.
terms of this is what I like, what do you like? And it can be very discreet. You can write it down and just pull it out of a hat or out of a certain area, look at it, and then you can also blindfold each other, and you can also do the different sense of touch, etc. There's different ways to kind of show up as you get into it, because it's not just like a one-time session that you're
Right.
going to show up, because when you show up you don't know what's going to really happen.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a different experience every time. And talk to your partner
Yeah.
beforehand,
I'm glad you
and
mentioned
just say these are
books.
the things that I like.
Look, I'm a nerd. I'm glad you mentioned books because I think I was sharing with you one time. So I had the first time I heard about Kama Sutra, I wanted to know what it was. So I kind of got some books and was reading about it and all those kind of things just to get an idea about what other and not that you have to do Kama Sutra, but just to know, like, people would talk about all these different positions and styles and things like that, and I really wanted to know what they were. So my husband and I actually did look at different books to see what things I would enjoy, and or what things we could try and see how they enjoy. And when we talk about safety, I think one of the things, not that, I'm not, again, I'm not getting any kickbacks, but one of the things that I like about Bedroom Candy, that I'll be real honest with, is the book selections you guys have. Like, there is one book that you have called, I think it's like Tickle My Tush.
It's Tickle My Tush, and we have Tickle His Pickle.
Okay. Well, definitely tickle. Right. And I get a lot of questions from people as they're exploring and they're coming in and they want to know about, especially around things that are more taboo that we don't talk about like things like anal sex and or even oral sex for that matter within a lot of times a lot of Black communities. And so they will ask questions about even as far as what type of infections they can get from that and different things. And so I think that, you know, it's nice to have those kind of resources available, because in all actuality, that's kind of what some of those books go through, right? Like how to safely use like lubricants, and how to make sure that you are not too aggressive, and you know, and just various different areas that you could touch that could stimulate, and you can go further, but yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's just like what Nanny was asking and what you're saying in terms of really getting prepared. You know, the best way to get prepared is to prepare yourself. And education is key. I mean, definitely to read our books, definitely to read articles. But when you're reading and you're looking at it, you have to be comfortable with it. Everybody's not going to be comfortable with everything. And sometimes it's a process. You have to work your way up to being comfortable with a lot of those positions. And
Exactly.
sometimes women and men, they like what they like, and sometimes that's it. And
Exactly.
so sometimes you have to be exploratory in regards to that. And you have to use the right products, but then you also have to be comfortable. Sometimes there are positions that some people say, you know what, I can't do that. That's just too, I just can't do it. That's how am I going to get my arm over this way and flex this way and turn
Right.
this way and do this? But if you take your time, you may not be able to get the whole entire position, but maybe you can get
Make your own, create a whole new one.
Exactly. And we
So
got a
that's
little
why
jokester in here too,
too,
Son.
Danny. I try to help Daddy show up, even though she done showed out. But
Daddy shows up. I'm just trying.
Exactly. So in the comments, one of our commenters wants to know what was learned from the Kama Sutra study. So I'm gonna say that I think exactly what you just said was what I learned, Mila. I learned what I liked and what I didn't like, and how to be open and honest about those types of things with my partner, right? And so, and I think that's one of the most important things, is if there's something that you don't feel comfortable with, then I think just as much as trying new things, you also have to be honest enough to say, yeah, no, that wasn't for me, right?
right. And sometimes you can meet your partner halfway and both try a little something new, each time. It may not be, if someone wants to do anal sex and they're not ready for that, there's other things that you can do with sexual play in the anal area. So it's not just, okay, completely out. And then, you have to get used to that feeling, and sometimes people may not know what to expect, and you don't know until you try it. So, there's different lubricants, there's different things that can be used to make you feel more comfortable and make you feel better.
Absolutely.
So that's another thing that we need to look into as well, because I think some people think that your natural body chemistry is all you have to deal with. No, you have lubricants. You have lubricants that are water based. They are paraben free. They're glycerin free. We have to be mindful of what we put in our bodies and on the outside of our bodies.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that we take care of them and do the best that we can in regards to sexual play, and
Yes.
it's trial and error too.
And I definitely want us to get into that and talk about, like, what are some of the things that I don't want this to just be centered on women. I do want to be specific about that, because there are so many things for men as well too. Like, even when I think about why sex is so important for a man, like, there's so many physical benefits that men get from having ejaculations and such as it's a decreased risk for prostate cancer. It's and for all of us, it can decrease stress and improve heart function and all of these things. So I definitely want to make sure that we include them in the conversation as well too, as we go forward and talk about, like, ways that you can play and all of those things as well too. And even I wanted us to talk about play because it was Valentine's Day, and I wanted it to definitely be, a little more lighthearted. But when I think about even men who have erectile dysfunction. There are things that they can do, that can help in those regards to bring them more pleasure in a sexual from sexual encounters as well too. So I definitely want to talk about that on the other side of this break. You guys know it's 5:30, so we're going to take a 2-minute break. And on the other side of this, we are going to come back, and then it's going to be it'll be all the just entertainment part, right? All right, so next, so let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll come back with Mila and with Danny, and we'll let Danny get all her questions out.
WIIFTBPM.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out chicagolegalnetwork.com for more information, or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Yeah. Ooh. I miss your kiss. Oh, your kiss is one of a kind. It feels so nice. Girl, you do it right. I miss. Oh, girl, you don't go too fast. You take your time. Just how I like. I miss. Hey, oh, you kiss it, then I'm drifting off your love. Keeps me floating, girl. I miss.
All right, friends, welcome back. Happy Sunday and happy Valentine's Day. This is Dr. Audrey Tanksley, one of your health home girls, and I am in with my other health home girl, Danny Time. Hey, girl.
Hi, girl.
And we are joining you guys today with Miss Mila Jeffrey White, who is a healthcare professional and in multiple areas, as well as a bedroom candy consultant. And she is joining us today. In the beginning part, we were kind of talking about just how sexual health and being in tune and in love, in tune with your body and loving yourself and those kind of things can be helpful. But on this other side, we were alluding to toys and play and ways that you can where and ways that you can stimulate your bedroom. And so I definitely want us on this side to get more into that. So I am going to let's see, I don't think I had a question, so I'm gonna let Danny go ahead and take it away.
Okay, well, I guess we could start with what would you consider a healthy sexual lifestyle? Like, some people have a number of times they should have sex per week, or how would you define a healthy sexual relationship?
Well, you know what, Danny, it all depends on the partners. I mean,
Hmm.
some people find that 3 times a week is healthy, 5 times a week is healthy. Um, it's really up to you and the partner, what you agree on. Some people are really spontaneous, though, when it comes to it, because people are so busy nowadays with
Yeah,
everything going on. And really, you can have one great spontaneous session that lasts long enough for about 3 to 5 sessions, really.
hmm,
So it's really up to the couple. I've never really believed in, and this is just me personally, that it's a certain amount of times that you need to
yeah,
have during the week. It's a certain amount of time that you need to have during your sexual encounters or your sexual play, or when you're having the time with your partner. Because sometimes intimacy in itself, without actually having sex and doing some different things, is part of it too. So it really depends. There are people that are satisfied, you know, with 5 times, but then there's some people that like to have it every day. And if they have that time or carve out that time, just like working out or anything else, I say go for it. Whatever
and,
makes you happy. And then if you feel like you want to increase it with your partner and you're able to physically do that, because, sex can be all the way up until you're an older adult. I've done case studies on sex at 70. So it just really depends. What I will say though is if you're able to do it as much as you can, do it, because as you get a little bit older, you're going to be a little bit older, so you're not going to be able to do as much as you used to do back then. So
Yeah,
and
and
I'm
I
glad
will
you said
say,
that
at
because
least
I was
from
going to
a
say
from
that.
a medical standpoint, all of the studies I've ever really seen say if a male has sex at least twice a week, that can decrease the risk of prostate cancer. So
prostate cancer.
help your husband out, or your
And I
male
want
spouse.
I wanted to ask that question too. I know I use the amount of time as an example, but like, how do we classify a healthy sexual relationship? Because as you mentioned, it's not just refined to how many times per week. That differs across couples. But like, what I guess what are all the healthy things that you would consider that would contribute to the sexual relationship? Like, what considers a healthy sexual relationship between two people, aside from like the amount of times that you guys might feel that that's necessary, but what are some other things that makes a sexual relationship healthy?
So I think a lot of things that make it actually healthy is just communicating about it a little bit more, taking time out to like have intimacy and share with one another at different times, whether it's cooking together. I mean, it's a build up. I
Yeah.
think even communicating, even reading books together, doing exercises together, talking about it is what definitely makes it healthy. When you don't talk about it, then nobody knows and can have that level of understanding. You can
Right.
only go so far in an intimate setting of trying to
Mhm.
figure it out, because a lot of times with sex, you almost kind of sort of have a routine of what you and your partner enjoy. So you try to please and work that out within your partner. But to have an actual sexual and a healthy sex life, you would need to communicate effectively,
Mhm.
on all levels. And I mean, because it starts mentally. And so, like I said earlier, when it starts mentally, then it's a buildup. So
Right.
it almost starts when you wake up in the morning. So that's what to me constitutes it, where you're not having, disagreements that are unhealthy. It's really like being healthy, working out, having your meditation, taking care of you first. Because
Right.
if you're not good, then you can't be good with someone else.
And that's so true. It starts mentally. I know one of the, again, I'm gonna keep playing the male in this conversation. So one of the things that we
I got
do.
a few more things.
Okay. I was just gonna say one of the things with men though, like when they are having trouble with erections, one of the things that we talk about is, are you able to get an erection first thing in the morning? Because that can be a sign that there's really nothing organically wrong, that you may, it may just be, like you said, you don't have a healthy communication style with the person that you're being intimate with, or something else that's actually up in your head as opposed to being physical. And then I'm going to be quiet so you can go ahead.
No, it does start there. We need to understand about the male and the penis. We need to look at the frenulum. That is the V spot. Women were always talking about our G spot, but they have a V spot. Okay, and it's super sensitive. It's like certain things we need to look at. And that's with the vasopressin. It's been shown to increase.
Now, where's
during
that spot at?
erectile response.
I was gonna say, can we just like all the way go there?
Just give
Because
me talk me through the visual. What's that?
I know a lot of women do struggle with oral sex from men, and I want to can we talk about that, like the proper way to do it, or what that spot is, what it looks like? Because there are a lot of women, believe it or not, that have challenges with that, and that's why they fear or don't want to do it, because they don't feel that they're being good enough or don't know what to do. So can we just talk about that, the oral sex for men?
And the frenulum, that's on the head of the penis. Look, I got dramatic. It's on the head of the penis.
Or the
And a lot of
glands.
times,
That's the medical term, the glands.
yes, the glands. Well, the frenulum it's actually the head of it. That's right on the top. And so with oral play with the penis, first of all, you have to inhale and exhale.
Come on now, sis.
Listen, you have to relax. I think what we do is, when we have a partner that is going into that, you mentally have to relax. It shouldn't be something that, oh my God, this is what let me gear up. Let me try to figure out, do I have to, take all of this in? Do I have to swallow? The answer is no. You don't have to take it all in. You don't have to swallow. You don't have to do certain things that you don't want to do. But what you have to do is relax, and you have to kiss the penis. You have to look at it. You have to touch it. You have to caress it. Then as you're kissing it, you get more comfortable. You can't just kiss it with your mouth closed. You do have to open your mouth and kiss it. And you have to understand and look and smell it and rub it. It's not one of those things where you go right into the whole process and think you have to take it on as if you were in a movie. Okay. That's not what it's about.
So is the frenulum, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Look, I think I was just going to ask, is that like one of the more sensitive areas? So we know, like in the female, the clitoris is really sensitive. Is that like a really sensitive area?
Yes, Dr. Audrey.
I will definitely say I did not know my male anatomy that well.
And that's what you need to focus on first. It's not really the motion of everything that people think that's part of it. But if you really stay on that super sensitive area, your magical things are going to happen.
Okay, now magic. Come on, black girl magic. Okay.
No, because men want all of that, and of course, wetter is better. And of course, you want to build all of that up, but you have to start somewhere. And the fact that you are showing love and you showing major interest and you're getting into it, start at the frenulum. Start at the tip, because it's super sensitive. There's ways of you going up and down the shaft and the sides. There's ways of caressing it. And even when you are performing oral play, you can go start at the tip, you can go down, and you can come back up like a figure 8.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So there's other ways of doing that.
That's really interesting. Are there any other areas that are really sensitive?
I was gonna say that area right underneath the balls.
Yes, that's called the perineum.
Yeah.
It is
And
very
that
sensitive.
perineum area is very sensitive. I agree. Yeah, it is very
It
sensitive.
is, and you
In
can
in
also
in a
work
female
that.
as well, though, that's very sensitive.
It
Very
is,
cool.
and I'm gonna be honest. It's all sensitive
Yeah,
because let me tell you something. Whatever part of the human body, all parts of our body can be sexually aroused. You can be sexually aroused with your ears, your neck,
Mhm.
your wrists, your shoulders, your fingers, your toes, you
Your
know,
back.
all your back. There's
absolutely.
so many areas. The nape of your back,
Hmm.
there's so many areas. And even though you may be targeting one area, it's okay to stop and go to another area and go back to that area. See, we don't always have to be locked in to one specific thing. And
Hmm.
that's what we need to understand sexually, that it is about broadening your horizons and being open and receptive.
Absolutely. So I know we've got like 10 minutes, and I know that there are
Oh,
questions. There was actually a question about if you do want to speak a little bit more about anal play and in a gentleman as well, or even with females, especially around safety around those things. Because I always tell patients who ask me about that skin, that tissue in the rectal mucosa is very, very thin, and it can tear, and there can, you can actually damage things. And so you want to make sure that you are engaging in that in a safe way. And so I just want you to, if you want to speak to that a little bit. Hey, Ms. Boosie, thank you for joining.
but before you
Okay.
get to that, also I
Okay.
wanted to say before we go, is it possible to just kind of touch on some of the myths
Okay.
sexually? Like I know another big topic for women, squirting. Squirting is a big thing. And what is it? So some people like fear that it's urine, and it's like I'm fearful of because I feel this rush to go to the bathroom, and then so there's a lot of things around squirting. So I just wanted to know if you can kind of talk about that, talk about some of the myths sexually that kind of keep people holding back from exploring the whole
Okay. Well,
full
forget my
extent.
questions because Danny's better.
I know Danny's gonna have the questions. I love
I
it.
just gotta come. I know what these
We're
people
gonna
want to
get them
know
both
now.
answered. We're gonna get them all answered. So squirting is a big question. Everybody talks about squirting. Squirting is not just about, oh my God, I don't want to let it out. I feel like I'm gonna, lose control. Well, that is squirting. When you actually are losing control, when you're letting go and you can't stop it. And it does seem like, you are urinating on yourself, and it is a lot of fluid for a lot of women, when they do squirt. What happens is you are getting the ultimate stimulation, whether it's clitoral or just a feeling that you're getting through actual sexual intercourse. The main thing with squirting is to relax and let the release happen. So many
Right.
times we stop it, whether it's during intercourse, during oral play, during whatever's going on, within yourself when you stop it. My main thing would be let it go. Now, people always say, well, how do I squirt? I want to learn how to squirt. How do I do it? You can't, you can't overthink it. It's something that is going to automatically happen. Now, some people say they have to concentrate, you know, in order to, squirt. But really, what it is it's a natural feeling that we all can achieve. It's just, it takes a lot of relaxation, knowing your body and letting it go and not being embarrassed about it. Because a lot of times people don't want to let go because they're thinking, oh my God, this is going to be, all over the place, all over my partner. I don't know how this is. You can't think about it. Just when it happens, let it go and let it flow.
And would you say that clitoral stimulation is one of the best ways to achieve this? Um,
Yes,
When
there are
I did a
certain, you
study,
mean like, is there a
when I did a
certain,
study a long time ago, yes, Doc,
yeah.
definitely that would definitely be the best. And I'm gonna tell you the best way to practice that is with a toy, because you can control the different speeds and the pressure. And a lot of times, most women have gotten that actual squirt from a toy, and that's because you can put it on the highest speed and you can control it, and you're with yourself, And a lot of times you will let go when you're with yourself doing it. And then once you get that feeling and you know what it is, then you will start to let go even with your partner. So I
Yeah.
suggest working it with yourself first
Hmm.
and achieving that squirt, and have a towel and have everything down because you don't want to,
Be
have your feet
prepared.
wet. Yeah, because it's going to happen. It's a natural body fluid, and sometimes it can be quite a lot depending on, what has built up during that arousal time.
Now, what is that fluid?
It's like, I don't want to say it's similar to like urine, but it's not. It doesn't have the same odor. It isn't. It's like a sexual type of urine, and not similar to semen, but kind of sorta, but
Hmm.
not really. But it's just an actual sexual fluid that comes out. It's very similar to urine, but it's not exactly that.
No, and I wanted to be specific in clearing that up because I know that's one of the barriers to people releasing because they feel like that's what it is. And as you stated, like not being scared because a lot of times men are very freaky creatures. So
Yeah. Well,
they kind of like different things. So I think that like just going for it and letting yourself be free and understanding what's happening is important. And that will kind of help you move forward with having that experience because a lot of women want to achieve it, but are fearful of I don't know what's happening and I don't want to lose control. So I just wanted to clear that up. And then if you
Right.
can touch a little bit on the like when does the sexual desires stop or slow down, or is there an age, or like what happens in the body for this trans?
So actually, with menopause, a lot of times women get older, they do have sexual dryness. So, working with vibrators, working with, we have a product called the Hold On To Me balls, where you insert them and it helps to strengthen the vaginal wall. So, you know how we work out every day and lift weights? The balls that insert into the vagina also help to lift weights and make the muscles within the vagina stronger. That also helps the lubrication within the vagina. And
Mhm,
so as we get older, our bodies tend to change. But if
mhm,
we continue to work out, if we continue to use things like the Hold On To Me balls, if we use vibrators, things to keep the vagina, or even with a male, you know, a lot of times, they can have male play themselves and work with themselves, not necessarily with a partner, but also have sexual play. And that keeps them stimulated and motivated sexually. So at any age, I mean, you still can have sexual play, but you still have to be active. It's one of those things, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So even though
mhm.
you get older, I would suggest still having the sexual play. And with dryness, you can also use lubricants as well,
that's one of
especially
the
because
things I was gonna
you know,
ask.
and
Yeah.
and with men too, if they are having their own personal play, women having their own personal play, you want to use the lubricants as well.
Yeah.
A lot of times, just because you get to be a certain age, doesn't mean that your sexual experience stops. Now, it may not be the same way it was when you were 25 and you're 75, but you still can perform the same types of intimacy and the same type of sex, because it keeps you going, and it is healthy for you to have that. It's great to have orgasms because it keeps us calm. It helps us feel happy. Sometimes it makes us feel warm. It helps us rest because then you feel sleepy. You may feel flushed, but it's okay. It's something that you can calm down to and relax to. So it's majorly important to still be active, just like exercise.
Right.
The two to me go hand in hand. The more you exercise, the more you meditate, the more that you have sexual activity and intimacy and foreplay. It all goes together. And I think even with men as well, sometimes they aren't able to go as long maybe as they used to, but you're still receiving some type of play, and you're ejaculating, you're having orgasms, and you're doing things as men and women. When you get older, it's okay, just because you get to be a certain age. And sometimes even if you're not older, sometimes you can have vaginal dryness, and that can be due to
Yeah.
stress. That can be due to lack of water intake,
Absolutely.
childbirth,
Mhm.
menopause,
Yeah.
surgeries, some medications, doc, and you know this that you take, allergies, birth
Mm-hmm.
control pills. A lot of those things deal with vaginal dryness. So,
Absolutely.
we just have to be mindful about what's going on with our bodies, and we don't always talk about it. And I think that's a major barrier, period. Like you
Yeah.
said, what's happening with my body? What's going
Right.
on? I'm
Yeah.
talking to it with my doctor right here. We don't talk to our doctors about it, but we could.
We
Right.
We could
should. We
because they're
Yeah.
should.
doctors.
And I
We
wanted to say
should.
this is the last question. I know you're a consultant and you have
And good
toys and
because
education
you
about.
coming up on the time.
Okay, real quick. What would you say to men that feel threatened by sex toys? Like women that may want to include them in their sexual relationship, but the man feels as if it's a threat to him, to his manhood, or feel a threat. How would you say that sex toys are beneficial to the sexual relationship without the man feeling threatened by
That's a great one.
it? Hmm.
Do we
It's a
lose her?
machismo thing.
Oh,
Why do you need that? You shouldn't
Right.
have that. I should be everything. Baby, you are everything. The
Hmm.
thing about it is we just want to entice. We want to do something different. We want to do something new. If they are just adamant about it, saying no, say, you know what? Let me just blindfold you.
Hmm.
Let me just blindfold you so you can understand. Why don't you take it? Let me take your hand. Let me show you. Why
Hmm.
don't you watch me? Just kind of ease into it. Don't come with a whole lot, just a little bit at a time. And just kind of educate and talk to them about it. This is how this is supposed to make you feel. If we use this together, this is how we feel. I don't know about that. Small steps.
Hmm.
Even
yeah.
when people purchase products, I say, don't use them all in one setting.
Yeah.
Just take one at a time and build up your experience. But talk to them about it, show them what the product is, let them feel it, touch it without you all even being into the mood or the play. Because sometimes that will destroy a mood or ruin a mood if you pull it out and they're not ready for it.
Right.
So I
And
would
I'm
go
I'm
over
gonna
it with
throw
them.
just
I would
one
try
more in
blindfold.
there. Look, I'm gonna throw just one more thing in there too. Sometimes using something that is a little more accepted by them is a good way to start as well too. So I know I've had conversations with individuals about things like cock rings, right? And so that is something that your partner can use, but it doesn't have any batteries. It's not electronic. It's not a threat. It's actually more of an enhancement, right? A non-pharmaceutical Viagra is the way I look at it. So in those ways, sometimes that can be even something they may be a little bit more accepting of and then you can kind of like Mila was saying, introduce other small things in. I know my husband will be like blindfold, yeah.
Well, some will, some won't. That's why I said some people will want to see what it is, and sometimes you have to let them hold it and
Right, he'll
see
be
it,
like, you
and you
play
got
too
to let
much.
them put it on you. You know what I'm saying? It's new. So the first thing though, they would have to be open and receptive. And it sounds like Danny's asking, what if they're totally against it?
Yeah,
So
Hmm.
if they're totally against it, you have to work on changing their mindset. You have to
Right.
absolutely.
kind of ease it in. You might not even be able to get a ring around a Rosie, okay? If they're not
Yeah, right, right.
open to that.
Very
Right.
But
true.
we do have a product that has a ring and then it also has a bullet attached too. So it can be used with both partners,
Hmm.
male and female. So you might want to start off with having something that can work for both of you at the same time so
Hmm.
that you both are getting pleasure from the toy
I
rather than
Yeah.
saying, okay,
love
this is my
that.
toy.
And
Yeah.
on that note, ladies, that is a wrap of this show. This has been so fun talking with you, Miss Mila White Jeffrey White. I'm so sorry, sweetie. And
That's all
Danny
right.
Time, as always, my health home girl, talking about all of these things that you can do in your home and in your relationships and with yourself. So you guys be safe and have fun today. And if nothing else, get some lubricants, right? So on that note, you
Get some
guys,
lubricants.
get some lubricants and check out Mila. She dropped her information in the chat, but check out the Inhale Exhale group, and we'll make sure that you can find her on there as well too. Have a great Sunday, guys. We'll see you next week.
What's the point of loving me if you don't know what trust is? I need the ease you give now. Please don't back down on me. I know you've got the attention I need. Put your pride aside for me. Oh, 'cause I need that ease. Put your pride aside for me. That ease. While I'm out trying to get that ease, you know that I need that ease. Yeah. Put your pride aside for me, baby. You're insecure, it's driving me crazy. I'm trying to get it and you keep on saying, you know my love is never enough. I put up with you for too long, now I'm over it. You want affection, I need more.